Good morning, students. Now we will discuss on the uh, remote user authentication. Basically, remote user authentication principles is a fundamental security building blocks. This is the basics on access control and the user accountability. Uh, we can say that remote user authentication is a mechanism in which the remote server verify the legitimacy of a user over an insecure communication channel. Basically, there is two steps in the remote user authentication. One is the identification, other is the verification. In the identification, specify the identifier, and the verification is bind the entity and the identifier. Uh, After this, the what is the meaning of the user authentication? Basically, there is a four-way to identify the user. Number one, something the individual know. In this include the password, personal identification numbers, or answer of prearranged set of questions. In the there is a something of individual possesses means example of this cryptographic key, electronic key cards, smart cards, and other physical keys. This is referred to as token. Uh, there is the something the individual key. Example of include recognition by fingerprints, retina, and face, and the something the individual does. Example of include recognition by voice pattern, handwritten characteristics, and the typing rhythm. Basically, network-based user authentication, the most important method cryptographic key and the passwords. So this is the four way to identify the user or the user authentication. Basically, two types of authentications are the include in this. One is the mutual authentication, other is the one-way authentication. The mutual authentication protocols enable communicating parties to satisfy themselves mutually about each other identity and exchange session key. The prime problem of authenticated key exchange are two issues. Number one, the confidentiality, other is the timeliness. Uh, to prevent masquerade and prevent compromise of session key, essential identification and session key information must be communicated in encrypted form. And the second issue, timeliness, is important because of the threat of message replay. Uh, there is some different types of replay attack. Uh, First of all, is a simple replay. In the simple replay, the opponent simply copy a message from the authentic source and simply replay it later. And second is the log replication. In this, an opponent can replay a timestamp message within a valid time window. And the third is the undetectable replication. In this situation arise because the original message could have been suppressed, and so did not arrive at its destination. Only the replay message arrives. And the number four, backward replay without modification. This replay back to the message sender. This attack is possible if symmetric encryption is used and the sender cannot easily recognize the difference between message sent and message received the basis of content. Uh, Basically, two general approach to counter the replay attack. One is the timestamp and the other is the challenge or response. In the request, basically request the clock among the various participants be synchronized, and the party A accept a message as fresh only if the message contains a timestamp that adjustment is close enough to aid knowledge of current time. In the challenge or response, the party A expecting a fresh message from B first send B a nonce and require that the subsequent message received from B contains the current nonce value. So basically, there is the two approach for coping the replay attack. But these solutions have been observed possess following limitations. Number one is the any timestamp have processor must allow for a window of time sufficiently large to accommodate network delay, yet sufficiently small to minimize the opportunity for attack. And the second is the challenge response approach is unsuitable for connectionless type of application because it requires the overhead of a handshake before any connectionless transmission, effectively negating the chief characteristics of a connectionless transaction. So basically, this is the two approach. One is the timestamp, other is the challenge response. So first of all, we will discuss the remote user authentication using symmetric encryption. First thing is the mutual authentication. Basically, mutual authentication is the two-level hierarchy of symmetric key can be used to provide confidentiality for communication in distributed environment. In this case, we have used the uh, key KDC. This is the key distribution center. In the each party share a secret key. This is the master key, and the KDC is responsible for generating key used for the short time over a connection between two parties and distributing those key using the master key to protect the distribution. This key also called the session key. Uh, this is the diagram of the KDC. That is include the 5 steps. In the first case, the A send the message to KDC. In this message include the IDA, IDB, and the N1. IDA is the identifier of A, IDB is the identifier of the B, N1 is the nonce or N1s of the A. This is called the network address of A. KDC also reply the message using this uh, public key, using this master key of K, A, master key of B, session key, N1 or IDB or ID. IDB or IDA also is the identifier of A and the B. KA is the master key of KA and the KB is the master key of the KB. After this, the A send the message to the B. There is the message. In the message include the master key of B and session key and the ID of A. After this, uh, also B respond send the message to A. In this message include the session key and the N2 is the nonce or the any random number generated by the B, and after this A initiate the message, send the message to B. In this message include the K of S and the random number of the N2. So there is the key distribution steps and the authentication steps. So this is the simple mutual authentication between the A and the B. Uh, After this, some timestamps also include in the above procedure by the Denning in the 81 and the 82. The weakness of the above is the modification. So or the we can say the forgery. So we change the data using the timestamp. The timestamps include the step 2 and the step 3. The timestamp assure that A and B, the session key had just been generated. So both A and B know that the key distribution is a fresh exchange. A and B can verify timeliness by checking the above clock. This is the clock check time to time. So this is the simple uh, mutual authentication process proposed by the Denning. After this, uh, uh, some include in the other things the above message. This is the Kehan attempt made to respond to the concern about suppressed replay attack and at the same time fix the problem in the Needham protocol. Subsequently, an inconsistency in this later protocol was noted, and the improved strategy was presented in the Nether in the 93. In the second image, the protocol provide a effective secure means for A and B establish a session with a secure session key. NA is the uh, Needham key, and so this is the simple mutual authentication process, and the other is the one-way authentication. In the one-way authentication, require the sender to issue to the intended recipient await a response that this approach guarantees that only the receiver of a message will be able to read it. It also provides a level of authentication that the sender is A. As specified, the protocol does not protect against replay. Some measure of defense could be provided by including the timestamp with message. However, because of the potential delay in the email process, such timestamp may have limited usefulness. Includes a session key and only then send the message. So this is the simple one-way authentication. After this, we have discussed on the remote user authentication using the asymmetric encryption. There is some includes in the mutual authentication. One is the public key encryption for session key distribution. In this, assume two parties in the possession of the current public key, and may not be practical to require this assumption. And denying protocol using timestamp using the authentication server to provide public key certificate, or in the require the synchronization of clock. And the other is the Wu and Lam use the nonce. This is the care need to ensure no protocol flow. So in this case, there is the authentication server. This is the central system. It is not actually responsible for secret key distribution. The AS responsible to provide public key certificate. This session key is chosen and encrypted by A. Hence, there is no risk exposure by the AS. The timestamp protects against replay of compromised the key. This is the another approach. This is proposed by the Wu and the Lam. The total includes 7 steps. In the number step 1, A inform the KDC to its intention to establish a secure connection with B. The KDC return to A copy of B public key certificate. Using B certificate, A inform B to its desired communicate and send a nonce NA. In step 4, B asked the KDC for A's public key certificate and request a session key B. B include A nonce so that KDC can stamp the session key with that nonce. The nonce is protected using the KDC public key. In the step 5, the KDC return to B a copy of a public key certificate plus the information. Information include the N of A, K of S, and the ID B. This information basically says KS is a secret key generated by the KDC on the behalf of B and tied to the NA. The binding of KS and NA will assure A that KS is the fresh. This triple is encrypted using the KDC private key to allow B to verify that the triple is in fact from the KDC. In step 6, the triple NA, KS, and the IDB still encrypted with the KDC private key. It relates to A together with nonce NB generated by B. All the foregoing are encrypted with using A public key. A retrieve the session key K of S, uses it to encrypt with B, NB, and return it to the B. So the last message assured that A's knowledge to the session key. So this is the one-way authentication type. So this is the mutual authentication by the Wu and the Lam. So now we discuss about the one-way authentication. Uh, One-way authentication basically two things. One is the confidentiality, and the other is the authentication. In the in this first is the confidentiality. The confidentiality is a primary concern. Then the following may be more efficient. In this case, the message encrypted with a one-time secret key. A and B is the two party. So A also encrypt this one time key with B public key. Only B will be able to use the corresponding private key to recover the one time key and then use the key to decrypt the message. This scheme is more efficient than simply encrypting the entire message with B's public key. So this is the public key of B, key of S is the session key, and encrypt by the session key and the M, message M. So this is the confidentiality. Other is the authentication. If authentication is the primary concern, then a digital signature may suffice. This method guarantees that A cannot later deny having sent the message. In this case, the message is encrypted by the private key of A and the hash code, both combined are both and the encrypt. This is the authentication. And the last is the digital certificate method. A and B, A sent the B signature encrypted with A private key and A certificate encrypted with the private key of the authentication server. This is the AS. The recipient of the message first use the certificates to obtain the sender's public key and verify that it is authentic and then uses the public key to verify the message itself. If confidentiality is required, then the entire message can be encrypted with B's public key. Alternatively, the entire message can be encrypted with a one-time secret key. The secret key is also transmitted encrypted with B's public key. So this is the confidentiality, other is the authentication. And the both are included in the digital certificate. This is the one-way authentication scheme. So now we have discussed in this lecture what is the remote user authentication and other is the remote user authentication using symmetric encryption and the asymmetric encryption. So uh, I hope you understand the what is the remote user authentication and how to use in the encryption and the decryption or asymmetric key or the asymmetric key.